Cyberpunk 2077 has finally some actually real and good news surrounding it. And this one's a big one because it's obviously the fact that current odds are 9 to 1 roughly that the DLC is real. The second DLC for Cyberpunk 2077 is most likely happening. 9 to 1 are the odds that it's going to happen. Exactly as I predicted, exactly as I said that it makes sense to make one. And the good news doesn't stop there. The good news about this is the fact that it's not going to be made by CDPR Red. And that is phenomenal. Obviously, you know what's the deal with CDPR Red. That currently it more looks like a company that's interested to try and tell you how to live your lives based on their political belief system that doesn't make sense to most of us and seems just flat out stupid most of the time. And I mean, this is the red stream, by the way. You can clearly see that it's not looking good. I'm sorry, but this is not looking good. So the fact that the CDPR Red are not making this game and they have outsourced it to some, I don't remember which company it is, but that company has a pretty decent track record, is really good news. Because remember, the CEO has been caught lying, saying that, oh no, all the people who made the games that you once loved are still here, which is proven lies by the credits in a lot of newer releases, games, and literally just by comparing the staff to the credits of previous games. It's a lie. It's a 100% a lie. So, this is our chance at probably the last good Cyberpunk entry in a long time.
Earlier today, CD Projekt Red hosted another new episode of Red Streams. The vast majority of this was spent discussing the Switch 2 version of the game and how they made that version of the game a reality. But I think we got really lucky here, because just a couple of days ago, one Reddit user discovered a Cyberpunk 2077 DLC listing on a LinkedIn profile. And seemingly just as a coincidence, this Red Stream was announced mere hours after the
15 tattoos. I mean, they might as well literally hire Alana Pierce for this. Not Alana Pierce. Alana Pierce is like 10 out of 10 better than this. But what's her name? The one that's suing Smash JT. I forgot. But Alyssa Mercante. That's right. They might as well hired her, and it would have been a better representation than this. Jesus, this is bad.
this discovery started going viral.
It's a joke, YouTube. It's a joke. I would never say anything like that seriously. On this channel, it's only satire.
Online. This led to a ton of fans assuming that the stream was about this new DLC that was just found. Of course, that wasn't the case, but it seems like fan fervor led to CDPR revealing that Cyberpunk 2077 is getting yet another new update and probably another new DLC, and all of this is coming in June. And I think I have a pretty good idea of what is actually coming from this update. But look, some of these romance mods can be dangerous. One bad Google search and your reputation could be ruined. But now,
I hope no one sees my Google search. I search a lot of wild stuff for my thumbnails on average. So
2077, it's happening. After months of teases and fan speculation, CDPR has finally confirmed that on June 26th, just 3 weeks from today, Cyberpunk 2077 will get patch 2.3 and maybe even a new DLC.
So guys, before we wrap up, there's one question that has been repeated in the chat a lot, and you've been asking for another DLC for Cyberpunk. And I can tell you right now that we are planning another patch for the game. The last one wasn't the last one.
Surprise.
Yes, so patch 2.3 is coming on June 26th, and we will meet with you and Amelia on the stream at the end of the June to talk about more details, what will be coming with the patch.
And even that quote is super interesting. CDPR does confirm that yes, an update is coming, but never comments on the DLC rumor. Which, to me at least, does somewhat seem to suggest that, yeah, a DLC could also be coming. They're very clearly not saying no to the fact that tons of people are asking about a DLC. And I mean, yeah, it looks like it'll be the case. Patch 2.2 was made by Virtuous Games with CDPR oversight, and it seems quite—
that's so much better. Make her the head of the company. Who is this? Pauline DeBrokes, producer at Virtuos Studio. Oh, she's not even Virtuos.
likely that the same thing will happen with patch 2.3. Just 2 days ago, we saw that LinkedIn entry mentioning a new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC being written at Virtuous. So while it does look incredibly likely that a new DLC is coming, it may not be coming yet. It might not actually be in this initial update. There's a ton to dive into here. Over the course of this video, I want to break down what is likely coming from this update. We have a ton of clues and even some cut content suggestions. And I'll format this video in order of most likely, like some of the stuff we almost know is certainly coming, to least likely, but probably some of the most exciting additions that could potentially come to this game. But a couple of things we definitely know. When CDPR mentions a DLC, that doesn't typically mean paid content. All of their DLCs were free additions in the past. We got things like new weapons, a couple of new gigs like with the Edge Runners tie-in, or even a new vehicle. Expansions are a completely different thing. This includes paid content like Phantom Liberty. But CDPR really makes a big point of differentiating between the two. So is this referring to a free DLC or a paid DLC like an expansion? Just to keep expectations in check, I would definitely assume this is one of the smaller free DLCs, but
It's kind of questionable because seriously, a writer position for a small DLC. I don't know about that. Senior writer for a small DLC seems like a lot of stuff for just small thing.
But it also seems like we might be getting multiple free DLCs. And at the very least, something medium to large is coming. CDPR naming this patch 2.3 is notable. 2.1 saw the addition of the Metro, a boss fight overhaul, and even a portable radio. 2.2 saw more character customization, new car skins that you can grab for yourself, and even photo mode upgrades. So even it just being titled patch 2.3,
God, every studio wastes so much time on photo mode, and literally like 2 people care about it. And both of them are from Final Fantasy and don't play your game anyway.
3 means it's a major update, including likely at least one major new feature, but considering this update's coming out of nowhere and was worked on for a bit, I think we could see several new features coming to this game. And then maybe a free DLC on top that could mean a nice amount of new content from this all. And one area that will almost certainly get new features is character customization. Patch 2.2 was made by Virtuous Games, but that team was overseen and directed by Pal Sasko. He was the quest director on Cyberpunk 2077 and is now an associate game director on Cyberpunk 2. And earlier today, Pal Sasko did say, yes, 2.3 for Cyberpunk 2077 is coming. We've been cooking for you in secret for a bit. As usual, I'm taking care of the update personally, and we will communicate more when it's ready. Much love, Chooms. One of the first clues that more could be coming was right after patch 2.2. Pal Sasko tweeted out,
I'm not gonna lie, it's like, am I the only one who sees like 15 red flags for this tweet? That this emoji at the end calling us unironically Chooms, and I mean everything else. I mean, damn. Okay, damn.
asking for more character creator requests, which now seems incredibly likely for patch 2.3. He was taking feedback then, so we could implement some of that content now. With patch 2.2, a huge focus was on additional cyberware options for your character, and what we saw a lot of was additional face cyberware, so you could actually make your character look a lot more foreign or chromed out. In this older tweet, Pal Sasko mentions more arm and leg customization options along with hairstyles, so I would personally expect all of that. Likely adding additional customization options to make your character look far more chromed out via their arms and legs. Particularly because a lot of this content is already in the game, it's just exclusive to other NPCs. You don't have access to it, at least without mods. Because yeah, a lot of really popular mods have already added this
Wait, was 2 Jensen? It almost looks like Jensen.
Stuff in for player customization. I would expect something quite similar to this in patch 2.3.
Bro, look at this, like, well, what are you even seeing here? Okay, what is this, a Cyberusi? Rev.
I would expect something quite similar to this in patch 2.3. But speaking of mods, one of the other really big considerations for this update and just game overall is further mod support. A couple of years ago, CDPR hired the modders who made the unofficial mod tools for The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 to help develop official tools for the games. Last year, we saw The Witcher 3 get a full-on red kit, opening up a ton of additional modding possibilities like custom quests and animations. And just recently—
Oh, right, it was dropped. I completely forgot about it. I haven't heard anyone. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm assuming someone has made something really cool from it, but I haven't really seen anything.
It was announced that this will extend to console mod support later in 2025. That is a really big deal. This is a considerable investment from CDPR for a very old game. On the Cyberpunk side, things are far more simple right now. Most of what we have are community resources to help make some of those community mod tools, but the overarching speculation from the community has been that everything they did for The Witcher 3 will also come to Cyberpunk 2077 at some point, but since
Makes
Cyberpunk uses an
sense.
updated version of Red Engine compared to The Witcher 3, those tools
Bro, listen, okay? Well, I'm not saying.
would have to be further updated to work with this game, and the most damning piece of evidence that one day mod tools are coming was last year. The new CEOs at CDPR said they see mods as a real value add for their games.
When it comes to
Obviously.
any future things, Cyberpunk, anything related, I mean, once we have something on our hands, we will definitely talk about that. But in general, I would indicate that community-created content by means of mods, enabled, empowered by really well-prepared tools, is something we are fond of, and we do see value in that.
Dude, you want to know what's funny? People are constantly talking about the next step of human evolution, and it is literally being Roombas and whatnot, with knives maybe for arms. But none of that is going to happen, okay? Everyone is forgetting the fact that biology still triumphs over technology by such a wide margin. Everything in nature is just stronger than anything that we can artificially make currently. Like, black holes are nature, volcanoes are nature, typhoons are natural things, and that's not even talking about the body in general. What kind of crazy things biology can do, and that cyberware cannot even remotely replicate. Okay, biology has functional immortality in literally three ways, by the way. There's three types of functional immortality in this world, and they're all biological. Okay? None of them are like flipping a coin. Does your mind transfer to an artificial body or not? But we are kind of closer to that than biogenesis. So people are talking about it more, but I am personally all for biogenesis. Okay, the next step of human evolution through genetic manipulation. Okay, I don't want to cut off my arm and replace it with some kind of metally shit. That's lame. It's lame. I want biogenesis and stuff like that. Okay, I want the genetic evolution.
in how we interact with the fans.
So while I would personally say that mod tools are almost certainly coming at some point, we don't know when. It definitely could drop with patch 2.3, but honestly, I think CDPR might be planning multiple new updates for Cyberpunk 2077, potentially just in 2025. As this video goes on, I'll get a bit more into why I think multiple new updates are coming, but I honestly think we could see mod tools as a really cool 5-year anniversary edition to Cyberpunk in December. But really, this is all to say that while yes, many people think mod tools are coming, and there's a lot of clues that something like this is on the way, we really have no idea when they're coming. It could be in 3 weeks with patch 2.3 or 5 months for the 5-year anniversary. Both timelines are totally realistic. But since it does seem like we are getting a new DLC of some kind, one of the most obvious things they could implement is some of the cut content from this game. As right now in the files, you could find 2 mostly complete gigs that were just never implemented for some reason. The one you're seeing in the background is called Hothead. This involved an NPC car chase as some corpos are trying to hack you. Prior to the police overhaul, Cyberpunk 2077 had really bad NPC driving AI, which is likely why this one never came out. But of course, that isn't true.
Yeah, that's why police just spawned behind a few out of thin air, because that was easier.
True anymore. So finally seeing Hothead get implemented along with this other cut gig does feel very possible. In the past, when they finally added in some of the cut gigs, they ended up having really fun new rewards at the end of them, like getting a new weapon thanks to this new gig. But one of the particularly interesting things about this LinkedIn DLC leak was what it specifically mentions, as it does give us quite a few clues of what a DLC would entail. The first point mentions analyzing existing character voices to inform writing their dialogue in multiple new side quests. So not only are we getting multiple new quests, but also quests involving characters already in the game. To me, this means that we're going to be seeing new voice work and new quests with some of the existing characters in Night City. Even further, the second point of coordinated with the narrative design
Are you alright? I mean, the hair is that cyber hair?
designer to conceive, write, and polish side quests for upcoming DLC releases is plural, right? Like, the wording of DLC releases implies multiple new DLCs. And I could totally see how this could all play out.
But the thing about that wording also does not exclude in any way and even minimize the fact that it could be like one big actual real DLC and then some smaller things down the line for it. That's how that job is supposed to work out. It can easily be exactly that.
The interesting connection with this writer is on their own personal website is a writing sample between V and Judy, basically writing a fake quest between V and Judy likely to get this job in the first place. And just a few weeks ago, the Polish voice actor for Judy Alvarez posted this video on Instagram teasing something, and it definitely seems like it's Cyberpunk related. The on-screen text mentions it'll be some time before we see it and how it's going to be a new character she hopes we grow fond of, but to me, this just feels like way too big of a coincidence.
Bro, look at this. Imagine. This is a voice actor from a game. And get this. Like, Bethesda, BioWare, all of these shit companies, Blizzard, Genshin Impact. You could learn something here, okay? This is a voice actor talking about their job and not calling the fans morons, idiots, dumb, uneducated, uncultured, ununderstanding. I mean this is a talent right there. A voice actor not instantaneously being dislikable is a talent. Also, I'm gonna cover it over your mouse so we feel the same.
I have to imagine those existing characters being analyzed are Judy and Panam, who will likely see new content in a free DLC.
I mean, if you choose Judy, I mean, you're kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, you're an idiot. Okay, it is what it is. I'm not even gonna explain myself. Deep down, you know, this is not the right choice.
At some point in 2025, or possibly even further. But I think we might also
listen. I would choose to be gay. Just saying.
Be getting a second free DLC that'll tie into this new anime, which also might be getting revealed in just a few weeks. We've known since last year that Netflix is working on a new Cyberpunk 2077 anime, but earlier this week, out of nowhere, the Edgerunners Twitter account tweeted that some sort of data drop is coming at Anime Fest in July. A few months ago, CDPR tweeted out this Cyberpunk 2077 birthday calendar with 6 encrypted slots. Lots of people are assuming that this could new DLCs or even expansions get brought up. Is this cut casino though? This has been in the game since release. It's just a major location that you could stumble upon, but it's never really been clear what it was actually intended for. The building itself is a casino, so maybe it just was meant to be a simple gambling outlet, but really due to the unique nature of this building and surrounding area, many believed it would play a larger role, perhaps even connected to some of the planned multiplayer features. But honestly, as cool as it would be to see this fully added and implemented, I personally don't think it will be. This is definitely the part of the video where we're transitioning to things that I think have less than a 50% chance of happening and really are just unlikely to happen. This casino has been around for 5 years, and nothing has ever happened with it. And even with Cyberpunk 2077 overall, we've had tons of leaks, even around what was supposed to be a second expansion, but nothing has ever pointed back to this casino, at least as far as I've seen. So I just don't think anything's gonna happen here as much as fans want something to. But if we do want to engage in some of the more out there theorizing, a big hope for many fans is that CDPR is working on another major paid expansion for this game. Some people take this Cyberpunk 2077 birthday calendar as a clue. It's not teasing new anime characters, but instead 6 new characters that are going to be featured in the expansion. And one quote that we got last year made me think for the first time, hey, maybe there is a super out there chance that we actually see a paid expansion. As CDPR's new
I think that's pretty likely. I think that's extremely likely. It financially makes sense because they just have nothing in between and then they have multiple releases. They're obviously not gonna leave it with 0 games, literally 0 games, for like 3 years, and then there's gonna be a release, a real release after that, and another release after that. That's too much of a that's too much, and then especially considering that the last release was profitable, and people are literally begging for another Cyberpunk DLC at this point. It's happening. There's no world that it doesn't happen, right? Anyway, that was Mr. Juicy Head 10 out of 10. Bye!